If you're Jamaican, this is for you, especially those born in Jamaica. If not, you can stay, but this is specifically for my Jamaicans, all right? Now that we're settled, why do you not like claiming us American-born Jamaicans? I have had conversations, even my own mother and father, born and raised there, came here in the 90s, few years before I was born, will look me dead in my eyes and say I'm not Jamaican.
All right, so I have a question for my Jamaicans that were born in Jamaica. So if you weren't born in Jamaica, skip this video. We'll catch you on the next one. But I'm asking a question. I'm not say everybody I do it, but a whole heap of way I do it. All right? What me could tell the people them were born a foreign, see? To two Jamaican parents, say them are not Jamaican. Where that come from? We didn't even know which part we come from in Africa, see? And we there now a disenfranchise the people them even more when them a try to connect to them Jamaican culture and them heritage and them roots and them something there. Where that come from?
Jamaican people don't accept you if you wasn't born in Jamaica. So fucking what? I've had a lot of comments on a couple of my videos where people are speaking of this issue that they feel when they come to Jamaica, where people in Jamaica or a few individuals in Jamaica don't accept them. I might call them foreigner. I said I'm an English boy, an English girl, and all them sort of something there. To the degree that they're using it as a reason and a cause for them not feeling like they can be in Jamaica or that they would want to live in Jamaica, or it has an issue on their overall identity or whatever the case may be. This has never actually been something that I've ever suffered with. Absolutely, you hear the people them talk about, say, in Jamaica you come from, or the things that they might come up with, but that's their view, and I think it's exactly that. It belongs to them, it doesn't belong to you. What does belong to you is your identity, and if your identity is that you are a British Jamaican or a Jamaican British person, then you are exactly that. That is what you own.
Have you ever felt like you didn't quite belong, even to the very culture you were raised in? It is a confusing and frustrating feeling, and it's something a lot of people in the diaspora experience. So they will be diving deep into a topic that hits home for many, the complex and often painful reality of Jamaican identity, especially for those born outside of the island. We'll explore why some people born in Jamaica might not see their overseas-born counterparts as real Jamaicans, and hear from those who are living this very experience. Before we get into it, if you find this video helpful or if it resonates with you, please take a moment to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and leave a comment down below with your own thoughts and experiences. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so that you never miss a new video from us. We're about to watch some clips that are really get into the heart of this issue. They feature two speakers who have a lot to say about this topic. The first challenges the idea of excluding foreign-born Jamaicans, arguing that their efforts to connect with their heritage should be celebrated, not rejected. He questions why Jamaica culture, unlike others, seems to turn its back on its own diaspora. The second speaker, an American-born individual with Jamaican parents, shares their personal story and directly confronts the gatekeeping they've experienced. They highlight their upbringing within Jamaican culture and frequent visits to the island, questioning why these deep connections don't qualify them as Jamaican in the eyes of those born on the island. And these clips highlight the deep sense of frustration and confusion that American-born Jamaicans feel when they are not fully accepted by some Jamaican-born individuals. It is a disconnect that many can't understand, especially with their when their ties to their culture are so strong and personal. Let us watch the clips, and then I'll be back to discuss everything with you guys.
If you're Jamaican, this is for you, especially those born in Jamaica. If not, you can stay, but this is specifically for my Jamaicans, all right? Now that we're settled, why do you not like claiming us American-born Jamaicans? I have had conversations, even my own mother and father, born and raised there, came here in the 90s, few years before I was born, will look me dead in my eyes and say I'm not Jamaican. Did I not come from y'all? Was I not getting cussed out, ass whooped by Jamaican parents? Was I not going to and from Jamaica like twice a year and going to school down there a few times? Does that not qualify me? And the thing that be getting me with y'all is y'all don't see other cultures not claiming their people. So just because I was born here means I'm not Jamaican all of a sudden? I would need y'all to cut it out. Y'all need to answer. Why y'all do that? Why y'all like doing that?
All right, so I have a question for my Jamaicans that were born in Jamaica. So if you weren't born in Jamaica, skip this video. We'll catch you on the next one. But I'm asking a question. I'm not say everybody I do it, but a whole heap of way I do it. All right? What I could tell the people them were born a foreign, see? to two Jamaican parents, say them are not Jamaican. Where that come from? We don't even know which part we come from in Africa, see? And we there now a disenfranchise picking them even more when them a try to connect to them Jamaican culture and them heritage and them roots and them something there. Where that come from? You understand? Me I travel now for over 30 plus years and me never see no other ethnicity do that. Matter of fact, them actually a fight to make sure so they picking them know which part them come from. You understand? Them could have be half this, half that, whatever. And we there tell the picking them say, them are a real Jamaican. Listen, I understand say if you're not born and raised a yard, see, your experience are go different. But if you see them a try to connect, why we not bring them in and try to help them? You understand? Why we are shut the gate upon them? So me not understand where this come from, but it need to stop. And please somebody make that make sense for me, cause me not understand why we are telling picking them born to Jamaican parents, so them are not Jamaican.
Jamaican people don't accept you if you wasn't born in Jamaica. So fucking what? I've had a lot of comments on a couple of my videos where people are speaking of this issue that they feel when they come to Jamaica, where people in Jamaica or a few individuals in Jamaica don't accept them. I might call them foreigner. I said I'm an English boy or English girl and all them sort of something there. To the degree that they're using it as a reason and a cause for them not feeling like they can be in Jamaica or that they would want to live in Jamaica, or it has an issue on their overall identity or whatever the case may be. This has never actually been something that I've ever suffered with. Absolutely, you hear the people them talk about say, in Jamaica you come from, or whatever things that they might come up with, but that's their view. And I think it's exactly that. It belongs to them. It doesn't belong to you. What does belong to you is your identity. And if your identity is that you are a British Jamaican or a Jamaican British person, then you are exactly that. That is what you own. Somebody else's perception of your identity is exactly that, their perception. But their perception doesn't define your identity. And it would be true to also say that you are not Jamaican. You coming with something different. You cannot be born overseas and grow up overseas and be influenced with the hybridity of that culture and wider Caribbean black culture and the English people and all of these things fused together, and not expect to be like the man where I walk up and down barefoot in a Clarendon. Obviously there is going to be a difference in you and your character and who you are as your identity, but that is okay. If you are a Jamaican British person or a British Jamaican person, that is who you are. Nothing wrong with that. And if somebody down the lane wants to tell us, say, yeah, English somebody or whatever, well, I'm not English, but anyways, have a great day. What next? What next if somebody tells you that you are not that? In the same way that the dirty people them in Northern England or all bouts of the country will tell you that you ain't British, you ain't English. Look at the boy who did the act the other day. He was born in Wales or wherever he did born, and everybody declared to God that he was, or enough people declared to God say he wasn't British. If you are what you are, you are what you are. I know that I am a British person. I like my English tea. I can talk like this. I love the English language. I like the literary tradition. When I rice and peas on Sunday, I throw a little potato in there too. You're crazy. You understand? I like my little baked bean. I like all of them little things there. I like my Yorkshire pudding. Oh, Christmas time when I sit down, I eat my little jerk pork and fried fish and rice and peas. I throw a little Yorkshire pudding in there as well. We mix it up and we blend it up, and that is who we have become. But that doesn't exclude you from Jamaica. That doesn't exclude you from the Caribbean. That doesn't exclude you in any other way. There is too much emphasis placed on what other people's opinion, misplaced opinions are of individuals that could possibly dictate your life. The amount of opinion what people have about me in my life, in my little time, yeah, so if I could ever follow for them, their opinion, then we would have never sit down. Yes, I talk and I chat and I go away. So, in success, you understand? It's come up so much that I realize, oh my goodness, this is actually a thing. People are actually really influenced by the idea of what other people say, and almost like it pushes them away. I am in Jamaica and I have come to Jamaica and I spend a lot of time in Jamaica. I've been spending a lot of time in Jamaica my whole entire life. Do you understand? And make trips here or whatever the case may be. And I don't have that issue. I don't have that problem. I don't have that going on. Yes, I have heard that from individuals that would say that, but there's also on the same side enough individuals that don't come up with them things there. And whether or not they come up with it or not, it doesn't exclude me from this place. Say I'm a Jamaican and that's just the end of the conversation. Do you understand? Have your conversation if you want to have your conversation. Say I'm from China. Say I'm from Japan. It doesn't change anything. I still am who I am. And it just is what it is.
Welcome back, and I hope those clips gave you a lot to think about. The stories we had today are not just anecdotes. They represent a widespread and deeply felt conflict within the Jamaican diaspora. It's a struggle over who gets to claim the identity of Jamaican and on what terms. Let me say this. One of the most powerful and unbreaking sentiments we had was the feeling of being unclaimed. The speaker in one of the clips shared how even their own parents who were born and raised in Jamaica will tell them they are not Jamaican. Imagine hearing that from the very people who gave you your heritage. It is a profound sense of invalidation, as if your identity is not your own to claim. This sense of feeling unclaimed is a core part of the issue. When people born in America to Jamaican parents who themselves were born and raised on the island are told they aren't real Jamaicans, it creates a deep sense of an outsider status. It is a feeling that their heritage is not acknowledged despite their strong familial and cultural ties. It is a common source of frustration and confusion for many in the diaspora. They question why they aren't considered Jamaican simply because they were born in a different country. Guys, that's really crazy. It is not right to tell your kids they are not Jamaican, you are Jamaica. And a key argument for many American-born Jamaicans is their cultural immersion and upbringing. They often highlight that they were raised by Jamaican parents, experienced Jamaican disciplinary practices, being cast out as a hooped, and frequently visited Jamaica, sometimes even attending school there. To them, these experiences are a proof of their deep connection to the culture. They can't understand why this is not enough to qualify them as Jamaican. This is a major point of confusion. Many overseas born Jamaicans feel that the culture they were raised in, the food they ate, the music they listened to, and the values they were taught should be a greater factor in defining their identity, their place of birth, right? It raises the question, if you walk like a Jamaican and talk like a Jamaican, why aren't you Jamaican? The contrast with their other cultures, and the speakers in the clips also pointed out a fascinating and a frustrating contrast, which I've said, the way the other cultures claim their people. One speaker who has traveled for over 30 years stated they have never seen any other ethnicity behave in this way. They noted that other ethnic groups actively fight them know which part of them come from, meaning they actively embrace and connect to their heritage regardless of where they were born. This makes the Jamaican stance particularly perplexing. They question why other cultures welcome their diaspora with open arms while some Jamaicans shut the gate on those trying to connect with their roots. This observation is crucial because it highlights how unique this issue feels to many Jamaicans in the diaspora. It is not a personal struggle, it is a passive cultural anomaly that leaves them wondering why their own culture is so different in this regard. Guys, let us talk about the perception of being a foreigner, quote unquote. And this is another significant point in the use of the term foreigner, because individuals born overseas may be called this or similar labels like English boy, English something, by some people in Jamaica. This label or other terms can be deeply hurtful and negatively impact a person's sense of belonging and even their desire to live in Jamaica. This labeling directly contributes to the feeling of being an outsider despite their lineage. It is this constant othering that makes it difficult for some overseas born Jamaicans to feel truly at home on the island. The feeling of being disenfranchised when they try to connect with their heritage and roots is a powerful barrier. They feel they are trying to come home but they are being pushed away. Now let us talk about the reasons behind this rejection. So what are the perceived reasons for this rejection? Now the speakers in their clips offered several explanations. First and foremost is the birthplace as a defining factor. The sentiment is simply, if you wasn't born in Jamaica, you are not considered Jamaican. This leads to the feeling that just because I was born outside, I'm not Jamaican at all. It is a rigid and to many an outdated way of defining identity that doesn't account for the modern reality of a global diaspora. Second, there is the perception of being not a real Jamaican. This view, held by some island-born Jamaicans, suggests that those born abroad lack the authentic experience of growing up on the island. The speaker in one of the clips expresses confusion about where that come from and questions why these individuals are disenfranchised, trying to connect to them Jamaican culture and them heritage and them roots, quote unquote. Third, and perhaps the most important, are the cultural differences and hybrid identity, because you see overseas born individuals are seen as coming with something different, quote unquote. This is a reality, as their identity is a confusion of different cultures, including the wider Caribbean black culture and the influences of other countries they were born in. This fusion results in an observable difference in you and your character and who you are as your identity, quote unquote. It is this hybridity that some island-born Jamaicans struggle to accept, seeing it as a dilution of what they consider to be pure Jamaican identity. Guys, let us talk about owning your own identity. So, despite these external opinions, there is a powerful and empowering message that came through in the clips. The belief that one's identity belongs to them. The speakers emphasize that someone else's perception doesn't define your identity, quote unquote. This perspective encourages individuals to own yourself and not be overly influenced by misplaced opinions that could dictate their lives. An American-born Jamaican, a British Jamaican, or a Jamaican British person can and should own their identity. The hybridity of that culture is not a flaw, it is a unique part of who they are. As one of the speakers noted, this is exactly that and what you own. This is a critical point. While there may be a difference in character and a hybrid identity, this is something to be proud of. It shows a deep connection to multiple worlds and cultures. The advice is clear. Do not let someone else's narrow definition of what it means to be Jamaican take away from your own unique and identity. A valid identity. So, what do you think? Have you experienced this firsthand? Is this concept of real Jamaican, quote unquote, something you've thought about? We'd love to hear from your stories and opinions in the comments down below. So let us keep this important conversation going on by liking it so that it can be suggested to as many people as possible, sharing it to your brother and sister or your friends who you may think they might want to hear from this topic. And most importantly, if you want us to become a family, then subscribe and then turn on post notifications so that you don't miss out on any of our deep dives.